Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So unfortunately I have went and misjudged the Mystagogue Companion. It has the exact same ability setup as you see with the Wayward Wizard. The same arcane warping, chilling cloud and slow. However, the big difference is that this Mystagog, when we go and attack a dummy, he will move adjacent to the target and then use this big slow, affecting all targets near him. And when we go to use this Wayward Wizard to go and attack these dummies, we can see he'll just attack from a distance, use that slow, and you can see he's only hit one target from this distance. And he tries to stay this distance away from his primary target. And if he's that far, his slow can only hit one target, which is this dummy, which you can see is very unfortunate and entirely reduces his damage. Now for my test, I managed to get him to hit 3 of the targets by having him squished in this target, and thus he has combat advantage against everything. Whereas with this Mystagog, we can see we can pop him right in the middle here, and he'll go and he'll attack this dummy, and he does his slow right then and there, affecting all of these dummies. We can see when we look at the damage output from the Mystagog, it was dealing over 100,000 encounter DPS. Keep in mind this is against 4 targets with full combat advantage. Whereas you go and you look at the Wayward Wizard, it was dealing less than half that. It was still full combat advantage, but it could only hit 3 targets with its slow rather than the 4 that this Mystagog was doing. The same max hit, the same minimum hits you'll see with both of those companions, so they can theoretically output the same damage. It's just if you're going to upgrade any of them and you have access to the Mystagog, you absolutely want this instead. So with regard to all of these companions, from the Gith, Riga, Succumbus and the Wayward Wizard along with Mystagog, we can see a DPS chart that looks like this. This is the dummy testing within your Dread Ring, where they can theoretically hit 4 targets if they have the abilities to hit them. You can see here the Mystagog out shooting all of them to 107,000. And that's because he can hit all of the targets, but so can Regis. Unfortunately, Succumbus could only hit 3 of the targets, same with the Wayward Wizard, and the Gith could only hit 2 targets. Imagine the Gith being able to hit 4 targets. That would be equal the amount of damage as the Mystagog nearly. But his range is much more limited, and thus it throws into the question of practicality of which one should you be using. Now, all of this isn't ideal, so I've tried making more tests. And in the end, I found the best thing to do is literally to go and run your said dungeon and see how they perform in practice. So that is what I've gone and done, and I will post you the results as soon as I test this Mystagog. We've jumped into our Vault of Stars and I've tested so far the Githyanki, Regis and the Succumbus. I have yet to test out the Mystagog. I'm assuming for sure it's going to outdo the Wayward Wizard, just because this Mystagog, this is how I've made another test. If I've summoned all these dummies, we're going to have to make sure we set the difficulty for the dummies to about 20,000 there. And we pop over here, the dummies will start hitting us. And then my Mystagog should go and attack them. You can see there, it initially used that slow. And then he can go and attack the rest of them with his at will, which can hit 3 of them there nicely, dealing a pretty decent chunk of damage, and they'll take a certain amount of time to kill off all of those dummies. So I've done that with all of those companions then to see how quickly they could kill all 6 of those enemies. So our results went something like this. The Wayward Wizard was bottom last there because he kept staying really far away with his ranged attack, and just his slow effect would only target like 1 or 2 of the dummies that were up close. Then we had the Succumbus, which was a very quick kill time with its massive kiss ability. And then we had Regis, which its burst just really wasn't enough damage since those dummies have up to nearly 300,000 hit points. So he's going to have to do his whirlwind at least 3 times to kill those off. Then we have Mystagog. He unfortunately did take quite a lot longer amount of time, and that's again just due to him not having as much damage output. on it at will to basically finish off that last elite mob standing. And then we had the Gith Yankee, which could do its spinning attack, and it could target all of the enemies and it'd be able to kill everything within 18 seconds, even though he takes a little bit of time before he does start spinning. But you can see here it was pretty quick, and then he just slaughters everything. He does have a knockback, and you can nicely see that with these dummies, but it depends on their hit points. If they don't have a lot of hit points, they're generally going to be dead before they can get knocked anywhere too far. So to wrap things up, yes, the Mystagog can kick ass like a beast just by looking at those damage numbers. That's insane. And then with the damage test here compared to all of the others, yeah, at the moment I'm pretty sure he's one of the best companions that can output the most damage, of course only in a controlled environment. Like most companions, he's going to have to be in the right situation to output the most damage, and certain areas he might do worse or better than other companions, and we'll see that when we actually test them in the Vault of Stars. So that'll be my next video, hopefully tomorrow, after I've tested this Mystagog within Vault of Stars. So again, I'd like to give a massive thank you to all of my channel members for helping me keep my channel going, and if I presented this well, consider leaving the video a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing. See you guys around. Goodbye for now.